Today's businesses are moving into emerging markets. Emerging markets have rapid economic growth, a growing middle class, and rapid modernization. India is an attractive market for many businesses to enter because its market has potential for high growth. Though there is high risk, it's a good place for businesses who want to earn high returns. However, India should be approached with caution. Though it may yield high returns, investing should be approached with caution because of the different cultural, political, legal, economic, geographical, and environmental factors that affect business practices in India. Business persons should have a deep understanding of all these factors before trying to invest.
Starting a business in India takes an average of 35 days compared to the world average of 48 days. India's tax structure is made up of 5 types of taxes: income tax, corporate tax, dividend tax, property tax, and a tax on insurance contracts. Formal non-tariff trade barrier, import tax, is made up of countervailing duties, excise duties, and regulatory duties in addition to the basic duty. Politically, India is considered a parliamentary democracy. It consists of 2 national legislative bodies, the Lok Sabha, which consists of 545 members, and the Rajya Sabha, which consists of 250 members. The major parties include the INC, Indian National Congress, and BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party. The nominal GDP amounts to US dollars 1.236 trillion, and the GDP per capita equals US dollars 3,100. Total trade makes up 48% of the GDP. Financially, foreign investors face restrictions on ownership of Indian banks and insurance companies. Under the Trademarks Act of 1999, India provides trademark protection for marks of goods and services, collective marks, and the certification marks. FDI in India is allowed through financial and technical alliance, joint schemes, capital markets, and private placements. FDI in India is approval by the Reserve Bank of India and the approval by the Foreign Investment Promotion Board, the FIPB. Sectors attracting highest FDI equity inflows are services, which make up almost 21%, computer hardware and software, which make up almost 9%, and the telecommunications, which also almost make up almost 9%. In February 2009, the government initiated changes that further opened up FDI in insurance and telecommunication industries. Guests, including international travelers, are treated with utmost respect and courtesy. Time management and punctuality are of minimal importance. Indian business culture is valued upon favors, friendship, and clanship, and companies follow the hierarchical system, and decision-making is usually from the top to bottom. For the year 2010, India is ranked 87 out of 178 countries in Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index. Taxes and bribes are common between state borders, and nearly a fourth of the 545-member Indian Parliament members have faced criminal charges in the past. Anti-corruption efforts include the Rights to Information Act, the creation of ombudsman organizations, and the computerization of paper land records, in addition to private sector initiatives. India is the 7th largest country in the world in terms of total land area. It is made up of 28 states and 7 union territories, and as of July 2010, the population is 1.173 billion. Recent events include ongoing territorial dispute with Pakistan and China over the Kashmir region. The 2010 Commonwealth Games were held in Delhi, India from October 3rd to October 14, 2010, and the November 2000 attacks in Mumbai by Islamic terrorists from Pakistan, resulting in killing of 175 people and wounding of more than 300.
The legal and regulatory environment in India is in a state of transition. India is in the process of becoming more attractive to foreign trade and private business. The Arbitration Act of 1996 gave India jurisdiction over any decisions in arbitration cases decided in countries that are parties to the New York and Geneva Conventions. The Salt Pipes case in 2003 set the precedent that cases and decisions can only be thrown out by Indian courts on the basis that they are patently illegal under Indian law. Other legal concerns with doing business in India include a historical consideration that they have no respect for the business contract and weak copyright and patent laws. The weak copyright and patent protections are a result of both weak enforcement and weak sanctions to people who are caught violating copyrights. However, the Trademark Act of 1999 brought Indian trademark protections up to Indian standards. Investment limitations in India include caps on civil, aviation, and telecom. Foreign direct investment is strictly barred from retail, real estate, railways, and any other industries that are considered to be of national security. The government, however, is considering raising the cap on defense manufacturing from 26% to 74%. However, local defense manufacturers are against this suggestion because they believe that India will receive the low-hanging fruits of any research and development conducted by foreign firms. The corporate tax rate in India is 34% for domestic firms and 42% for foreign firms. However, foreign companies who partner with domestic companies receive the same treatment as domestic companies, so they avoid the higher tax rate and the limitations and caps on investment. Special economic zones were created in India to stimulate trade and foreign direct investment. In the special economic zones, there's no mandate for exports and also single window clearance to open up a business as opposed to the 70 approvals needed to operate outside the special economic zones. There are simplified compliance procedures and documentation, and there's no bank guarantees required in special economic zones. For the first 5 years in the special economic zones, firms get an exemption from income taxes. For the 5 years after that, they get a 50% reduction, and then for an additional 5 years, they receive a 50% discount on all gains taxes. Another aspect of special economic zones that make them attractive to foreign direct investments are they're exempt from customs and duties, and developers get a tax holiday for 10 of the first 15 years that they're in business. Foreign direct investment in India should require best conducted with a foreign partner and in special economic zones. You should also take steps to protect your intellectual property and realize going in that India is not the best tax and regulatory environment for business to operate in.
India has taken various steps to work towards economic integration. There are two types of economic integration: multilateralism, which is negotiations through the World Trade Organization of major trade agreements of both major and minor, which India joined in 1995, and bilateralism, which is the second type, which includes trade deals with individual economies. India is currently in 19 agreements with another 6 trade agreements in the works. One of the trade agreements is with ASEAN economies. In 2009, India came to a free trade agreement with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The trade agreement goes as follows. About 74% of India's tariff lines will first be reduced and then completely eliminated. About 15% of tariff lines are going to be reduced by 5% or less by a certain date. India will also have special products that will be reduced at a very slow rate. The special products include commodities like coffee, pepper, tea, and palm oil. There's also an exclusion list in which no tariff reduction will take place. The exclusion list includes a list of 489 items derived from 4 sectors. More than 80 items come from the textile sector, an exclusion of 50 items come from the automobile sector, and 17 items come from the chemical sector. The Indian-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement will be mutually beneficial. ASEAN countries will benefit from the reduction of tariffs from India, and India will benefit from ASEAN because more developed economies will now seek out India for foreign direct investment and access to these markets.
India is an emerging market. It is characterized by rapid economic growth, a growing middle class, and rapid industrialization. A large trend that is affecting the way businesses conduct themselves is the movement to become more environmentally friendly. There are a number of going green trends companies are going to face if they choose to do business with India, including clean development mechanism programs, the fight against deforestation, effects on market access due to environmental measures, and the growth of green technology. A Clean Development Mechanism, or CDM, are regulations with a goal to reduce emissions and enable countries to meet their emission requirements. One of the side effects of CDMs has been an effort to slow down or undo India's deforestation. Deforestation of India's forests is leading to the rise of CO2 emissions. As regulation of emissions continue to increase, the lack of these trees could inhibit India's economic growth due to the inability to regulate greenhouse gases. Many developing countries, including India, criticize what might be considered overly harsh environmental standards imposed by the World Trade Organization, or WTO, and other factions. Developing countries feel that these regulations often hinder market access and trade. Another complaint of many countries is the exorbitant costs of many of these environmental programs. Compliance with environmental standards can often necessitate large investments, which lead to high production costs. High production costs reduce revenue and therefore profitability of the company. The last issue is the influx of green technology in India. India is not only environmentally benefited, but there are people making a profit from this new innovation. As the world becomes more environmentally conscious, India's focus on green technology will lead to job creation and a giant source of revenue for India's business sector.